as
Camera
far as
person.
pushing the button, that's
That's
all
right,
I
too.
do.
Thanks for correcting.
Good morning, everyone. We'll call this meeting to order, and if you'd please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome, everyone. We have just a standard, I'm going to start with, before we get into the business of the meeting, these issues and times are subject to change, so instead we are actually going to push public comment back a few minutes and give Mike Conkey, our DES coordinator, the floor to address the flooding issues and a resolution to, for the county. Mike?
If I have permission, I'd like to yield to road
Absolutely.
Dana Brown, tell us what's happening out there.
Well, got a lot of water. Basically, we still got, some pretty good water. It's coming out of the high stuff now. LF Bomb, Quarter Circle Road yesterday.
Price?
They were running over, and there's a lot of water coming out of Sweeney Place, off that Pool Creek side and all that, Staubach Creek, Spokane Creek. Not a lot of, not any road damage, basically, just water over the road, so, got that, and then, yesterday afternoon, I got called at Ross Gulch. I went and diverted quite a bit of water with my shovel, I dug a lot of the snow out. The problem is the snow is in the ditch. I think I explained this the other day, but the snow is still in the ditches, up in there. And it's not letting the water get, it's coming down the ditches part ways, and then of course then it jumps out because the snow soaks everything up. And then it runs down the road till it can find a spot. So actually I got that pretty much handled. There was a couple spots that I couldn't get, so I just got back just now with the backhoe. And I went in and cleaned some of that stuff out of them ditches, and right now everything is in the ditch and coming down. We're pushing sediment into Deep Creek. Okay, it's not huge, but you can see it. It's kind of where it comes into Deep Creek there out of Ross Gulch. It's building up a little bit, so just be aware of that. We may have some DEQ issues, maybe, possibly. Don't know. Just depends on what happens in the next 3 or 4 days here. So, North Fork is not running real hard yet, so that's good. Deep Creek is actually down a little bit from what it was yesterday afternoon. Water jumped out of a Deep Creek just above Wickens's, between I think it's Kevin or Scott and Linda Wickens's place last night late, and it washed across the road there. It didn't cause any damage, just pushed a bunch of ice out the road. Got the guys this morning. We're hauling some gravel down on the south end. We got a big cut down on Rolling Glen Ranch Road. We're filling it, and then we're just coming this way. We just got a few down there, so and we're going to be on Lone Mountain, Muddy Lane, just trying to get everything healed up a little bit till we can get back and fix it good. So, got a couple deep cuts on Toston Dam Road yet. I have to get them when I can get to them. Just try to fill them best I can. I think I'm going to probably end up pulling some stuff off the bank there. I think we can shape some of that stuff up and fill that down in Toston Dam and with the backhoe, and then we can, haul some stuff on top. So, I don't think we have anything happening on Crow Creek yet. Most of that water that was down in the Crow Creek Valley came from, the east side of the highway the other day. So, that's pretty much all gone, I think.
Yeah, I'm surprised Crow Creek hadn't run anything down there Saturday.
Yeah, I think give it a few days, we've.
It'll probably be starting.
So Crow Creek itself isn't running yet, really?
No, nothing at the highway there.
It's normal winter level, just winter level. It's not dirty yet.
But other than that, Toston, I went the other day, Saturday, when I was out, we opened up Flynn Lane again, where we cut that road, Thursday, so to let the canal through, you know, they took a hole out of the canal so they could drop a bunch of that water. So Saturday, I went and I got that all filled back in and got that opened up, one lane traffic through that dry creek spot. Went and did, Grayson Creek, not Grayson Creek, but Lightning Barn there where Grayson Creek's at, right there at Vic Spat's Rats. We had a ditch dug across the road there to alleviate Grayson Creek a little bit. Went up and bladed some of that stuff off of Shelley Road where it pushed that canal out onto the road, just so they could drive through there. I mean, it's still closed. I think what's gonna happen there is the canal's gonna come in and probably take a bunch of that material back. They're gonna come scoop it up with a loader and they're gonna haul it back over toward the canal, I think. And I think the talk right now is actually moving the canal. You know, they're not gonna be able to rebuild that, I don't think, where it was. So I think they're gonna move it back to the north just a little bit toward Brandon's house. We're supposed to have a meeting today to figure all that stuff out, so I just kinda left that alone out there till we figure that out. And I don't wanna go do a bunch of stuff and then have to dig the road up, so. But, other than that, I think, you know, we're just kinda waiting, you know, I mean, we're hauling a little gravel here and there, but, you know, that's about all we can do, so.
Thanks, Dan.
Yep.
Yesterday I went out, well, first of all, I started in the lower end of the county, take some pictures, documentation, then I went up to Spruce Grove, Quarter Circle Road. We got a call from a citizen that the water was building up real close, just west of the railroad tracks. There was running across the county road and it's about a foot from the bottom of the rail, but it was safe. It was actually dropping when I was in. Then Quarter Circle is pretty bad, it's just starting to melt. Quarter Circle, Pole Creek, that's gonna be problems in the future, a lot of snow up in there. Then I went to Ross Gulch, met with Dana, then we got some calls down at Price Lane, that was flooding, about half a mile to a mile after the paved stretch down there, coming down a gulch. A lot of water actually got stuck, but I had a citizen help me to get out. But one lane traffic, gonna be a lot of damage there this morning. And most of the flooding in the valleys of the fields, you know, on the lower levels all melted snow, so now it's coming out of the foothills and slowly getting a little bit higher. But these creeks are starting running quite dirty. 6 Mile there by Leonard's house was quite high. Most of that's probably coming from upstream. So well, we have a lot of melting with this snow, this rain I mean, and we might get snow in higher elevations. This will be continuing probably all week long. Depends how cold it gets at night. Didn't freeze last night, rained most of the night. Everything that had dried out of the county roads is all backed up. Pretty muddy now, but we're hanging in there. Our big job is, Dana's big job, of course, is emergency road repair. Doing a good job. And DES' job is documentation. I just got off the phone with Sean Hagley and advised him what's going on. He's kind of a county engineer, I believe. You know. He wants all the photographs. I've taken hundreds of them, so we'll give him on JPEG and send them to him. But I think we're in good shape. I think there's those three houses originally we talked about. Some of those are starting to move back in, clean up, I think. I don't know of anybody else that's homeless. We're much better off in most counties in Montana. It's a real bad flooding. I think the biggest expense right now is, besides the county roads, there'll be a lot of repair there, is the Broadwater, Missouri Water Users Association on that canal. That's a big expense. And there's more water this morning, Brandon said, that's coming out of that canal. Big expensive. I don't know if they're a political subdivision of the state or not. If they are, then they will be part of them. If there is a governor declaration and there's a presidential declaration later on, then they might have some funding. It all depends if they're political subdivision of the state. We'll have to look into it. Any questions, commissioners?
No, thank you, Mike. How about either of you?
I just have to say hats off to all of you guys. Very little sleep and a lot of hard work, and it is appreciated.
Tell the citizens that we've been meeting every morning to see Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 10 a.m. We call that a little DES EOC meeting where Dana's been there, the fire chief's been there. Who else? The Red Cross has been there.
Sheriff's office.
Sheriff's office has been there. They've had search and rescue out. Fire department was very active that very first night. So it's kind of a stakeholders meeting, kind of what we do during disasters. We've invited the mayor, Mayor Alice is there, and all the commissioners. It's kind of, we just do that, and then this is kind of replacing that today. We'll probably get back into that 10 o'clock thing tomorrow if we see the need. And we've been meeting downstairs in the old commission room. But it's more of a, just share information. And share information, find out what everybody knows, what they learned the night before, and what they're planning to do today. And just so we kind of all know what's going on. Thank you, Laura.
Thanks. Don, did you have anything from the Red Cross perspective at this point?
Couple of things you might like to know. Number one, we're on standby. We're waiting to see how things develop. Our typical way of dealing with these situations is to have lodging available for up to 5 families or up to 10 people at the local motel. The Mustangs are already on alert. They're aware that we might need them. If we need to go beyond that 5 family, 10 individual level, then we'll open up a shelter over at Trailhead for a larger number of people, and they're on alert as well. I've already talked to our upper management folks, and I'll put in a request for what we call cleanup kits. Mops, brooms, squeegees, what you need to clean up your house after the flood water has receded. I'm waiting for a call back today to find out where those things are going to come from. Helena is out, Bozeman is out of their supply of cleanup kits, so I'm waiting to see where these are going to come from and how they're going to get here, but the order's in. So basically we're waiting, hoping that it doesn't get any worse than it does, but I got a lot of rain last night. And as Mike has said, the weather doesn't really look all that great for the rest of the week. I was down in the Raidersburg, Toston area yesterday. Your crew has a lot of work ahead of them.
Oh, I know that.
A lot of work.
It's all minor. Pretty much, but, yeah.
Thanks, Doc.
Thank you. Right, anything from the sheriff's department to add?
We just keep building calls and day and
Trying to figure out how to generate a big hair dryer.
Very good.
Set it out there and work on some evaporation. I don't know. I mean, it's, we're gonna continue to do what we've been doing. And obviously, public safety in regards to roadways, you know, water on the road versus water taken out of road is a different situation. I thought we did real well over the later part of last week, keeping the resources confined areas where it was a public safety issue, letting anybody even go down across a body of water. I think that's kind of the plan. I guess we'll continue to go down that way. Dana and I still talk quite a bit about prospective problem areas, and you know, we're going to have a few more issues, but hopefully it's not canal breaking bad. So just kind of go from there.
Very good. All right, thanks. So with that, we do have a resolution. On Thursday, we signed a declaration of emergency, which under MCA 10-3-402, the county commissioner can sign that unilaterally for the commission for the county. Today, we are bringing that to the full commission. It is not necessarily on the agenda specifically, but it is under items for discussion, action, review, and signature under county safety issues. And we will put it on the agenda for next week just to make sure we cover all bases on this. The resolution this is now a resolution to accompany the emergency declaration. So with that, I will ask the commission if you have any further questions on the resolution, or if we could entertain a vote.
I will so move.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to sign the Broadwater County Emergency Declaration for Flooding Resolution. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. 3 ayes?
Yeah.
Okay. All those in, motion carries. Thank you very much.
Could we read it to so that people?
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you. Whereas flooding has occurred within the county of Broadwater due to rapid snow melt and rainy, warm weather causing damage to public roads and infrastructure, private property, and disrupting commerce and transportation. Whereas flooding began on the evening of March 6, 2014 and continues to threaten public roadways and infrastructure, irrigation canals, and private property. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of the county that an emergency is hereby declared pursuant to section 10-3-402 MCA and pertinent provisions of the County Emergency Operations Plan are in effect. Be it further resolved that this declaration shall be filed with the county clerk and recorder, assessor, and the Montana Disaster and Emergency Services Division in Helena. Issued by the chair of the Board of County Commissioners this 10th day of March, 2014.
Madam Chair, I do have one comment, and I just want the public to know what these groups that have been working day and night, around the clock, have done for this county. And hats off. I've been
Absolutely.
impressed.
There's been some very long hours by a lot of our employees. Did you want to speak, Dana?
Yeah, I've got just one thing. I'm gonna probably have to run, get some more cones. Everything I've got is out. I dropped a bunch off with Lynn here the other day, and I think they distributed them up the other night and kinda got rid of everything they had. And I've been trying to pick them up as things are, you know, getting cleaned up just a little bit. But I still got a pile of them out, and I'm gonna kinda see what I got left, you know, by noon or something, and then, you know, I gave Mike a bunch yesterday, and he stuck them all out there on Three Forks, and so, I may have to run in and do that real quick here this morning, if I can get some there at T&E, so. Other than that, I think I'm sitting pretty good. I got some more, you know, most of my signs, not most of them, but quite a few of my signs picked back up, and they're supposed to pick some more up today as they're cleaning some stuff up out there, so. Just-
For cones, if you want to borrow rotaries, you're more than welcome to. We have a fenced-in yard where the trees go just north of.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, you're welcome to all those.
yeah, I better, I'm wondering, I might. People like to take those too, so,
They disappear.
yeah.
Yes.
A question for Dana, are there any roads closed? We've opened everything back up, have we?
I got, Han Road is still closed.
Okay.
I forgot to say something about that. The other night, Saturday night,
Friday.
Friday night, we went down and water couldn't stay off the road, so we took, I got BSC, went down there and we took the excavator and dug some ditch on the north side of that road and got the water on the north side of the road. At least on that one stretch, you know, that was the only stretch we could do that on. There was a lot of it still coming into the subdivision from south of there, so. But that's closed. I still got the road closed signs on Shelley. It's passable, but I've got them up. I'm gonna wait till I see what they're gonna do with the canal. And then I may probably move the one that's down the highway up to Lightning Barn and just shut that one section off, you know, if they're gonna move that gravel out of there, so. Other than that, I think that's all I've got. Well, I got them signs up on LF Bond too. On the
Oh,
west
west
side
side
of
of
the
it,
tracks
yeah.
yet, cause it was pouring across there again yesterday, I think, wasn't it?
Just was, I was up there. We
So-
put signs back up, that wind blew them down. It was windy up there.
But those are the only ones that got closed, and I've been keeping pretty close tabs with the dispatch too, you know, and letting them know what I've got, and I think they've got everything logged, I think, right, Lynn? So,
I hope so,
well, they said they did,
yeah.
If you call it in on that recorded line, that's,
yeah. Okay, other than that,
All right, well, thank you very much for all you guys have done.
Thank you,
These long
Commissioner.
hours, we appreciate it.
We'll go back to flood fight now. Like firefight?
yeah.
Okay.
If you're gonna go out and tour anywhere, I need to go along with you.
See ya.
See you, thank you.
Good day.
All right, we will move into our meeting. We usually have a public statement, just to put everybody on the same page for our meetings. The Broadwater County policy, public meeting policy follows Robert's Rules of Order. The purpose of this policy is to open Broadwater County public meetings to all county citizens. We realize we have a fiscal and fiduciary responsibility to conduct county business as effectively as possible for all Broadwater County residents. Commission meetings are recorded and on YouTube, so please state your full name prior to public comment for the record. Any separate conversations need to be removed from the meeting and conducted outside. Outbursts will not be tolerated. Public comment will give citizens who wish to speak 3 minutes to do so, and all comments will be directed to the board chair. So with that, we will open the floor to public comment. Is there any public comment? Public comment. John?
John Wright's my name. My question is about the setting the standards for our sheriff's department, which there's two different sets of laws that you're dealing with. One is constitutional and one is state statutorily. One of them actually calls for it to be a prison. The other is a holding stock yard, or whatever you want to call it. The difference in the two is the laws allowing what goes on in there. It makes a difference whether this institution will pay its own way or not. As it stands right now, with the state statutory cost of each prisoner, it's only half of what it costs for us to keep them. 1/2. Now, the difference also is requirements of being a jail or a prison. Constitutionally, it's a prison. It requires to have a warden, which can manage it to the maximum with schooling and training. That's somebody that you just pick out of the group and make work. Our sheriff knows Buzz very well. And she's been pushed and shoved to where she's actually operating the sheriff's department on a begging bag, or relying on grants and whatever y'all want to throw to her. And it don't work. If we manage this as a constitutional institution, it can be put back where it will be at least maintainable, and all of the baggage that comes with all of these prisoners, we can stop making our town and our county a ghetto instead of the good community that it was. That's my point, and I wanted to address this to you because the whole thing is being pushed further and further into the state's control. It should not be. This is a constitutional county. Bear that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? All right, we have asked 3 times, so we will move into the meeting. First thing, before we get too far, we have minutes from March 3, 2014. Those were emailed out about Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll make a motion that we grant approval of those minutes.
All right, do we have a second?
Yeah, I'm just checking through everything. Yeah. Yeah. No, sorry.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of March 3, 2014. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right, with that, we are a little bit behind schedule. 10:15, Brian Holmes, Solid Waste Supervisor, monthly update.
Good morning.
Morning, Brian.
Listening to the road crew and DES, I've got high-class problems, so hopefully we'll be out of your hair quickly. Since last time I was here, the biggest issue we have is equipment-wise. Our wheel loader decided to give us fits. It's at the shop getting the in-frame rebuild done. It had a cracked head, and it's probably gonna cost us a few $1,000s to get that fixed. But thinking about why that happens, that piece of equipment is designed to be started and run continuously for a day. We don't run it that way. we run it for a short burst of time, park it, go do the rest of our job and come back. So we might have to look at how we run that loader just to minimize the destruction that it sees. The also, part of that issue is, that loader is almost 40 years old. We've had some good life out of it, but it's getting harder to find parts. At some point down the road, we're probably gonna have to look at replacing that, which is just something you have to do in the meantime. We did acquire a skid steer loader to help out with operations on the recycling side. That has the other issue with equipment. It's a new piece of equipment, and we ran it for about 20 hours and it started to blow fuses. So, and we don't know why, the manufacturer doesn't know why, they're looking at it. It's at their shop right now, they're trying to figure out why it started doing that. But it's the other side of the spectrum. When you buy new equipment, you have issues with those too, so. But it's all warranty work, that shouldn't cost us anything, other than dealing with not having a piece of equipment to get that done. We did acquire a service truck for Brent to drive. Picked that up used. It's an older pickup, but it will do everything we need it to do. We got that truck for $3,600, and it's got a lot of life left in it, so it's a pretty good truck for that price. And like I said, it will do everything we need it to do. We'll just need to put some equipment on it so we can do what we want it to do. But that's not a big deal. The other question that came up while I was listening to the road crew and DES is, you know, once the water recedes and the flooding's over, then we have the cleanup to deal with. I don't know if there's going to be an increase in the amount of trash we see because of this. I can imagine there's going to be. The other question I have on that is if there's going to be relief funding from the state or the feds, does that include the disposal cost of our increase in trash? You know, I'm willing to haul whatever comes our way, but if it's a significant increase over what we've seen in the past, I think there should be some funding to cover that cost, not pass it on to the fee payers of the solid waste district. Even when a lot of it may come from the south end of the county that is not in our district. We need to be watchful of that and make those people aware that they're not allowed to bring that waste to our facilities without paying for it. The rest of it, as far as our sites are, we're in pretty good shape. We're not being, we had a few issues with snow drifts and that kind of thing, but those are gone now. And now we just have to deal with the mud getting in and out. I did receive a call this morning from the landfill saying, if you can help not coming in today, we'd appreciate that.
Oh.
They had to pull 2 trucks out of their landfill already today, so we won't be taking a load to the landfill today.
Okay.
And one other deal that our solid waste board has brought up, talking space-wise, we're getting things ready to put our cardboard baler and a compactor for plastics down at the recycling area. There was the question as to whatever happened with the plans for expanding the existing county facilities down there for room to store equipment. I haven't ever heard an answer to that question, so.
Franklin, you were gonna work with Donnie on that. What'd you guys come up with?
Back to me on that. I guess I better get hold of him and see what he's come up with. I'll do that.
And Ken,
But
if
you haven't had this.
Yeah, it's been a month ago, I guess, maybe longer.
And while we're talking about that, Brian, Marty Peters called me, voicing some concerns about where that slab of cement is gonna be.
We're not putting a slab of cement.
Okay, would you call him and tell him what's going on?
There's not gonna be anything on his side of the road.
Okay,
It's all gonna be on the west side of the road.
okay.
So,
Well, he was very, very concerned, and
my phone number's posted all over every sign down there, so I never got a call from him. But I can touch base with him. if
mine
need
isn't
to.
posted, but I got the call.
That's about all I got.
All right, all right.
Keeping things somewhat dry.
Yeah, as dry as you can. As far as the emergency funding, take pictures and document any overtime, any additional time spent on that, document it, and we'll put it in the full package.
What I'll do is I keep track of the amount of waste we haul anyway. If I see a significant increase over what we've hauled previous years, I'll let you know.
Okay, yeah, yeah, if there's an additional trip that needs to be made, document that as well, you know, that stuff. So, yeah, very good.
It's just one of those things that nobody thinks about till after the fact, when it's an emergency situation, is, what do we do with the cleanup stuff?
Right,
So,
yeah,
but I get to deal with it.
yeah, thank you for that.
Other than that, I think that's it.
All right, anything else for Brian? Okay, thank you very much.
You bet.
With that, have a great day.
You too.
All right,
Stay dry.
We'll try.
all right. 10:30, we're right back on schedule. Next, we have a public hearing, adopt Montana jail standards. Just a little bit of history on this. This was given to each of us, I believe by Win or Nick, last spring. Was that you, Win, that got us
I
copies?
think I sent it over last year.
Yeah, thank you for that. The feds, through one of their acts, determined that there needed to be statewide jail standards in each of the different states. MSPOA, which is the Montana Peace Officers,
Sheriff's and Peace Officers Association.
thank you very much, of which Win serves, and MACO, Montana Association of Counties, got together and thought it would be a whole lot wiser for counties and law enforcement to come up with something versus the legislature, because the legislature tends to go with one size fits all. So pretty much the experts in the field put these standards together. The hope is that these standards will meet with the approval of the legislature, and we will not have something come down from them that doesn't work for some counties because of the one size fits all issues. We got the first draft last fall. It's about 72 pages. A copy has been available at the sheriff's office, the clerk and recorder's office, and the commissioner's office for the last 2 weeks. So with that, is there any public comment on the jail standards? Public comment? Public comment. All right, anything from the board? All right, that's easy. We will have a resolution for next week, and since today is just the public hearing portion, just in case anybody wants to email or write any further comments, we will give them one more week to do so and bring this to a vote next week. That meets with the agreement of the commission.
Yep.
Okay, all right. So then we have another public hearing here in about 10 minutes, so we'll do mail for a couple of minutes.
Make sure you put your life vest on. You go outside, put your life vest on. So
What?
don't go away.
You go outside, put your life vest on.
Kind of off the record, but I kind of snickered when I came around the corner today. Here comes Trudy trudging down to the meeting with a nice big umbrella. Last week I saw her trudging with snow boots and gloves for her ears.
Why have things changed?
Yes, so very quickly.
huh?
All right, we have from the Department of Public Service Regulation, Montana Public Service Commission, an application for Big Bear Transit LLC. And this does not affect us, but if you have a friend with them or in the area, let them know.
Well, they're located in Charlotte, huh?
Yeah. Next, we have from the Montana Department of Environmental Quality, a wastewater discharge permit for the city of Dillon. Again, this doesn't apply to us, but if you have a friend, let them know. You are cordially invited to dinner with Kat, and this is Tuesday, March 25, during the Mackers Convention. And that is also coinciding with another safety fest in Missoula, if I'm not mistaken.
But Mackers is in Great Falls.
That's what I was just thinking. Still coincides, just two different cities. Next, we have a Board of Investments Intercap Loan Program, variable rate loan program available to Montana local governments at 1%. And next, we have a letter from the Broadwater County Trust Board. We have already voted on this. This is just a confirmation letter. Please, dear Broadwater County Commissioners, please transfer $61,000 from the Broadwater County Trust Board account to the county account for the purpose of assisting the county to purchase the docks from Jerry Reller and Goose Bay Marina. The Trust Board is proud to partner with Broadwater County in utilizing these docks for Broadwater Bay. And those docks, with the reconstruction at Broadwater Bay, will be floated across the lake to, with the reconstruction of Goose Bay, those docks will be floated across the lake to Broadwater Bay. One piece will be for free, public use, and then the other two will be for purchase, or rent. The way the agreement works with the concierge, or the concessionaire out there, is 10% of everything she collects for services goes into a fund here at the county for maintenance, for upkeep, that kind of thing. So, and that is a BOR, JSJ and county three-way partnership.
Adding on that, Jerry had asked me, I never got paid for anything yet. I'm assuming that's we coming out of this part here now, and this is transferred.
Yep, right here.
That's what I told him. I thought that's what it would be. I thought that maybe they'd already, we talked about that quite a while ago.
Yep, yeah, all that has to go through the commission. All right, 5 more minutes. We have the revisions to the open meeting policy, and should just get a signature on that. We did vote on that, I think last week, and I just forgot to get signatures.
So do we need a motion?
We already voted.
Okay.
If you want a motion to sign it, we can certainly do that, but it is extra.
Madam Chair,
We'll take public comment here in just a minute.
I just wondered if you'd read what the changes are.
We did do that, Tim, a couple weeks
I
ago,
might not have been
but
here.
I will read the last paragraph again for you. Meaning the presiding officer may recognize a member of the viewing public as an informational witness at their discretion. If a member of the public wishes to comment on an agenda item, they can present their request to the chair prior to the meeting, or public comment will be heard on an agenda item of significant public interest. Comments must be relevant, civil, and 3 minutes will be provided to speak. All such comment will be directed to the presiding officer, never to another citizen, guest, employee, or visiting expert.
Thank you.
So, these are posted here in the courthouse as well, so anybody can take a look prior to a meeting. And finally, we have customer agreement with Northwestern Energy. And this is for, to install, operate, and maintain utility facilities to provide services to the customer at 704 North Cedar Street. This is solid waste. And the amount is $58.
I'll make a motion that we do sign the contract with Northwest Energy.
I'll second that.
All right, it's been moved and
This is
seconded.
Typical,
Mhm.
right?
It's been moved and seconded to sign the contract with Northwestern Energy regarding the Cedar Street canister site in the amount of $58. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. There you go. We have claims for voucher date 3/4/2014 in the amount of $23,243.56.
I'll make a motion that we approve claims for 3/4/2014, $23,243.56.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to pay the approved claims of $23,243.56. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. There you go.
I'm gonna change my signature like yours so it's quicker.
That's right.
All right, every year we sign the bioterrorism grant. This year was no exception. However, there is an amendment that we were given by Linda Campbell this week. And the amendment to the contract is is an increase of almost $4,000, from $27,780 to $31,015. And just some simple language changes. A payment will be, now becomes was paid, and as soon as possible after now becomes when. The contract is, now becomes was signed by both parties. And then it has the quarterly increases as well. Fourth quarter payment of $62.52 becomes $9,487.
And what does that cover?
Bioterrorism covers an awful lot with emergency planning for that particular department, public health. She's got a bunch of different equipment that could be used in the case of a pandemic. She works with Dr. Campbell on a lot of this stuff. As far as the specifics, that would be something that Linda could offer. That's just the basics of what I know.
Basically, the same, everything was before then, other than increase, right?
Mm-hmm. Make a motion then that we sign the amendment to bioterrorism contract.
I'll I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to sign the amendment number 1 to the bioterrorism contract. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, motion carries. All right, it is 10:45, public hearing, supporting Broadwater County Fire District. And we will close this regular meeting and open the public hearing. For this subject, we have a resolution. It was shared 2 weeks ago. This resolution reads, a resolution supporting the Broadwater County Fire District. Whereas Broadwater County relies on many citizen volunteers who provide fire protection services throughout the county, and whereas the very nature of fire protection services puts our volunteer forces in harm's way in the event of any fire suppression activities, and whereas the Broadwater County Fire District continue to evaluate the most practical and safest way to provide fire suppression services throughout Broadwater County, and whereas it is the desire of the Broadwater County Commission to support all our firefighters and endorse the Broadwater County Fire District position to protect the lives of firefighters above the protection of structures that may be in harm's way, therefore be it resolved. 1. The Broadwater County Commission hereby confirms support for prioritizing fire protection services based on threat posed to firefighters. 2. Fire service staff in the county will be trained in basic fire behavior to properly evaluate their ability to safely engage in a fire in the wildland-urban interface. 3. Homes in the wildland-urban interface will not dictate fire suppression tactics, strategies, or the location of fire lines. 4. The Broadwater County Commission has been and will continue to be committed to supporting all fuel mitigation efforts that improve the survivability of structures and enhance the safety of our firefighters. This was discussed at the Mako conference last month. It was started by Lewis and Clark County. It was brought to Mike Conkey at the Tri-County Fire meeting in Helena. Tri-County Fire is Lewis and Clark, Broadwater, and Jefferson. We worked together for mutual aid. And then this was brought to our fire district. They voted at last month's meeting to ask the commission to sign this resolution in support of them and their efforts. So is there any public comment regarding a resolution supporting Broadwater County Fire District? Any public comment? Any public comment? Okay, any comment from the board?
Make a motion that we sign the resolution.
I'll second it.
All right. All right, it's been moved and seconded to sign the resolution supporting the Broadwater County Fire District. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
You want, we do all three or what?
Nope, we can just do one of them.
I mean, you want to just keep that or name with that one? That's the blank one.
I need the original. The signatures.
There we go. I'll just recycle that guy. And I think that's it for mail. I just want to be sure. Okay, we do have, a claim for Brian, and this is for, it's not a claim, actually, it is a request. This is for the, skid steer that he talked about. For, apparently for machinery, there's a $8,000, $80,000 limit before you have to put it out to bid. I had thought it was 50. He and Dana talked about this and said actually for their departments for this kind of equipment, it's 80. So, just wanted to bring that to your attention. I'll attach it to a claim and bring it to the commission next week, if that's okay with you guys.
I was like you, I thought it was 50,000.
Yeah. Any comments or questions, Franklin?
Glad to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, Madam Chair,
Take public comment here in just a minute.
wondering the cost on that skid steer.
It's $54,000.
Thank you.
And of course, we just heard a little bit about that. The loader is 40 years old, so I think that needs to be considered when looking at the fact that a department may need some more equipment to do their job for the citizens.
I thought you said it was going to solid waste. This is a road on there. Is it for solid waste or road?
No, it is for solid waste. That may be a typo that we need to address.
Yeah, and Brian's the one that signed it.
My guess is the first page was filled out by Merchants Capital Resources, and they probably just used a contract that has been used in the past. So we can certainly address that to Brian, but it wouldn't make any difference to the claim. Does that clear anything up for you?
Yeah. When was that all approved that he could go ahead? That's just asking for the approval now. I thought you said he already had it.
We gave him the approval in a meeting about a month ago. So this is just the paperwork that goes with it. So I just wanted to bring this forward so the commission is fully informed. You look like you have a question.
I think maybe one time I discussed it about one, but I don't remember any approval to go ahead and get any equipment.
When he comes in here for his update, and he says, you can look at it on the YouTube video, but any department head who says, this is the need that I have, can I go ahead and get it? We actually gave the approval at that time. That's within his managerial purview. That is his job as a manager of that department to have the equipment he needs to do his job. Any?
Okay.
Okay. And I want to move ahead if you're still,
Well, I got a
got
lot of
issues or
questions.
questions.
It's okay.
All right. Okay, next we have, journal entries, review and approval. We have, a need to do journals, and what we've been doing, we talked about the fact that we haven't had somebody to do any filing in the commissioner's office. The filing is literally stacks of paper because with correspondence, with phone calls, with meeting with the public, with getting the agenda, with mail, I just simply don't have time. So, I brought the paperwork here. If you guys are interested in going through and just pulling out the journal entries, we can at least get that taken care of. Does that agree with, or does that meet with your approval for the next half hour?
I'll go ahead with that.
All right. also with that, something we discussed at our last working meeting is the secretary for the weed district is looking for some additional hours. It seems to me it would be a good fit for her after putting together the weed office to come in and just do some of the filing. Unless, of course, you guys have another idea. I'm just gonna give you your own stack, Franklin. What you wanna do is pull out anything that says journal entry right here. And then what we'll need to do is put them together by month.
What are we doing this year? We just started.
That was my stack, that I thought you might want to see them, but.
We just want the journal entries pulled out then.
So if you guys have any thoughts on how to take care of the filing, I am totally open.
This is Tristan.
What's that? No, does the board agree with recessing the meeting for 30 minutes while we do this until the commissioners' community update?
I'm fine with that.
All right, we'll just recess for 30 minutes. Thanks, Ann.
This is for 30.